Hi, it's Alma Katsu, novelist. This will be the second in my Ask Me Anything AMAs on what was it like to have a life of intelligence. And some of you guys may know me already as a novelist. I've written historical horror novels for the last 10 years, but I have a new book coming out in just a few months, March 23rd, Red Widow, my first spy novel drops. And if you haven't heard already, the reason I wrote a spy novel is because I actually had a career in intelligence for over 30 years. I worked at CIA and NSA and had some experiences at other places too. It was a long, very fulfilling, very rewarding career. But I learned from experience that when people find out that you actually worked in intelligence, they often have a lot of questions for you. So I thought it would be fun to get questions from real readers who are curious about what it was like to work in intelligence. And hopefully, if these are entertaining enough, that maybe on the 23rd of March, you'll pick up a copy of my book. I'd really appreciate it. Okay, so this is the second question, and I love this question. It was, were you friends away from work? And I think what they wanted to know was, do you become friends with the people that you work with? And I have to say, heck yes. As a matter of fact, they're your lifeline, and they're often your friends for life. And if you think about it, you can see why this happens. You know, working in intelligence, you can't talk to most people about what it is that you do on a day-to-day basis, let alone your whole career. You can't talk to your family. My family back in New England, they really know nothing about what my life was like. A lot of people who work in intelligence end up marrying someone in intelligence. I did not. My husband is a musician, and I couldn't tell him anything that I did. There were many, many long days. And when I say long days, I mean 12-hour, 14-hour, 16-hour days. And I did complex contingency operations for a long time early in my career. Those were the things that you saw on television, on the nightly news, the peacekeeping operations, the coalition operations. Those are operations that involve combat but have other aspects to them. So he would see things on TV and he kind of guessed that maybe what I was doing at work had something to do with him, but I couldn't talk to him about it. But for most of us, just like you and your job, you want to talk to people not about the subject matter that you've been involved with all day, but all the other parts, you know, the difficulties of the job, the difficult people you sometimes have to work with. How do I handle, you know, a boss who seems to hate me? All of those things. And you can't just go and talk to your neighbor next door. So it really helped to have other people who not only had the security clearance, so you could talk to them, but knew what you were going through, because there's other pressures too with a life of intelligence. And that is exactly what I tried to capture in Red Widow. Red Widow is the story of two women who work at the intelligence, who work at CIA, who are caught up, and it ends up being sort of a cat and mouse game because they're on the opposite sides of this very thorny problem. So they're friends, but they also become adversaries too, in a way. And so that's what I kind of hope to capture in my intelligence books, is to really show you what it's like on the inside, what it's like personally, what kind of toll it takes on you as a person. It presents a lot of moral challenges and dilemmas that, you know, that you have to deal with, just this added twist with the security clearance on top. And the other thing I'll say is, just like any place, you know, it's your career. You're hoping to make a career of it. You want to meet your career objectives. Your ambitions may be quite high. You may want to go up management. You may want to reach the pinnacle in your field, and that means you're competing with other people. Well, the intelligence community, the intelligence work, tends to draw pretty high-flying type A people, and it can be pretty difficult at times, and challenging in ways that maybe don't happen at other workplaces. So one thing I can say, and that I find is very unique to the culture at CIA, you know, when you think of what CIA is responsible for, it's clandestine intelligence. That's what they're number one at. It's their job to go out and recruit the people who have secrets that our government needs. If you're an American. If you're not an American, I'm sorry if this sounds a little, you know, focused on America, but that was our job, right? We were trying to find the people who had secrets that we needed in order to make sure that America would make the right choices. So there taught to do that by being really good manipulators. I'm not saying that they were always evil in what they said or that they lied to people, but they know how to make people how to persuade people and try to make them agree with you. So you have the best manipulators in the world working at this agency. And I'm sorry to say, but I think this is the experience of a lot of us who work there, that there are some of these people who can't turn it off. And they end up trying to manipulate their coworkers, their spouses, their children. It makes their lives very, very difficult. And that's a sort of a unique characteristic of working in intelligence agencies, that sometimes you're surrounded by these very, very good manipulators, and it can make your job, if not your life, a little difficult. Well, I hope you found that interesting. If you did, I hope you'll give this a like or subscribe to this channel and share the link with your friends, or tell your friends about it and have them come on over. I'm doing this because I'm really trying to get the word out during COVID, a very difficult time, to make people aware of books, right? Books that are coming out. And I'm hoping that this will kind of capture people's imaginations. If you want to find out more about Red Widow, especially when it's going to be released, because we're a few weeks out still, or you want to learn about my other books, I hope you go to my website, which is my name, almakatsu.books.com. And if you go to the website, you'll get a pop-up where you can sign up for my newsletter. I do a monthly newsletter, which includes a contest, and I give away books every month. So if you found this entertaining, I hope you'll sign up and kind of join me on this adventure. Well, thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned because I'm sure there's going to be another video drop very soon.